The brain formulates the words, the intention is clear, but the electrical command traveling down the spinal cord abruptly stops at a damaged gap. For individuals with locked-in conditions like ALS or a brainstem stroke, the language center remains vibrant and active. They know exactly what they want to say, but the muscles required to speak are frozen. This is where a brain-computer interface, or BCI, steps in. It acts as an artificial bridge designed to entirely bypass the damaged biology. Bypassing the body to decode these neural signals directly is no longer hypothetical. It is an active, urgent frontier in modern medicine. Traditional assistive devices like eye trackers allow users to communicate, but they operate at a fraction of the speed of natural human conversation, which flows at roughly 160 words per minute. The limitation with external, non-invasive sensors is a severe lack of data bandwidth. The signals are muffled by the human skull, making it impossible to capture the dense data required for rapid speech. Solving this bottleneck requires a radical engineering approach, the high-bandwidth invasive BCI. These devices use arrays of microscopic electrodes to physically penetrate the outer layers of brain tissue, recording the high-resolution electrical firing of individual neurons. Accepting the inherent risks of open brain surgery to acquire this raw, high-density data is the necessary trade-off to enable the rapid rates of natural human communication. These implants do not read abstract thoughts or inner secrets. They specifically target attempted motor commands. Surgeons place tiny arrays containing hundreds of microscopic electrodes directly into the precentral gyrus, the region of the motor cortex responsible for orchestrating vocal tract movements. The electrodes pick up electrical spikes only when the user deliberately tries to move their lips, jaw, or tongue to form a word. At this stage, the raw output extracted from the arrays is just a chaotic, dense stream of electrical noise. Hardware alone cannot decipher this data. Without a way to translate the electrical activity, the user's intended speech remains trapped in the machine. Artificial intelligence serves as the essential translation layer bridging the hardware and human language. This diagram illustrates the pipeline. Raw neural data is fed into recurrent neural networks, translating temporal patterns into phonemes, the fundamental sounds of speech. These phonemes are then processed by large language models, applying the rules of English to assemble the sounds into coherent sentences. Combining high-density electrode arrays with these advanced AI prediction models is what finally allows researchers to decode unconstrained sentences in real time. This laboratory theory recently transitioned into a landmark clinical trial conducted by researchers at UC Davis and the BrainGate Consortium. The trial involved Casey Harrell, a patient with ALS who received a 256 electrode implant designed to test this exact brain-to-text pipeline. The performance metrics were striking. The system decoded his attempted speech at a rate of 56 words per minute, achieving over 99% accuracy during controlled tests. The most significant breakthrough of this study was operational. The software was engineered to update automatically in the background, allowing Casey and his family to use the interface independently at home, without researchers present in the room. Over nearly 2 years, he logged more than 3,800 hours of independent communication. This sustained daily use proves that speech BCIs have crossed the threshold from temporary lab demonstrations to functional medical devices. Despite these results, these systems are currently classified strictly as investigational devices undergoing early feasibility studies, not consumer products. The technology carries inherent physical risks. Placing electrodes in the cortex requires open brain surgery, which brings the danger of bleeding, infection, and long-term tissue scarring. The hardware also faces severe long-term limitations. Electrode signals can degrade over months and years, and the current systems require cumbersome daily calibration just to maintain accuracy. Then there is the massive financial barrier of insurance reimbursement. For widespread adoption, companies must prove that the expensive surgery and equipment ultimately reduce the lifetime medical and nursing care costs for a patient. Proving the technology works in a living room is only half the battle. Surviving these strict regulatory and economic realities will determine if patients actually gain access to it. Developers are already targeting the next iteration: fully wireless, fully implantable transmitters that restore complete digital autonomy without bulky external cables. Future arrays will scale up to 1,000 channels and deploy across multiple brain regions, paving the way for bidirectional communication, where sensory feedback is written directly back into the brain. As these interfaces restore the path between intent and communication, they force a final philosophical question: where does the boundary between biology and machine ultimately lie?